Juniors, how are you? This is Principal Swanson coming to you today with a very important message regarding the testing you're going to be taking this week and next. So it's called the CAASPP test. You're going to be taking it tomorrow, being April 17th, and the next day, April 18th. And then you're going to be taking it the following week on April 24th and the 25th. A little bit more about that later. What does CAASPP stand for? It is the California Assessment for Student Performance and Progress. And you may remember taking state standardized tests at the end of your schooling, at the end of 3rd grade, 4th grade, all the way through 8th grade. Well, since then the test has changed a little bit. It's a little bit more challenging, but at the same time a little bit more awesome and important for you to do well on. And I'm going to explain that to you in this short video. The most important thing to recognize about this test is the better you do on it, the less you will have to spend on college. And you make me say, what? Mr. Swanson, how is this test going to make me spend less on college? And I'm going to walk over to a poster over there and I'm going to tell you how. All right, we're here at the poster. This is your pathway to college readiness. This is sponsored by the California State University, but also the University of California system acknowledges this as well. So that would be Sac State, Sonoma State, San Diego State, UC Davis, UC Berkeley, UCLA. When you take the tests this next couple weeks, there are 4 ways that you can be scored on this test. You could either exceed the standard, which would be right here. You can meet the standard, which would be right here, or you could nearly meet or not meet the standard. Where you guys want to be is you want to be on this half of the poster. You want to meet the standard or exceed the standard. Because if you do one of those 2 things, when you get to the university, you will not have to take non-credit bearing classes. What that means is that immediately when you step onto the college campus, you're going to start earning credits to earn your college degree. Every class that you have to take that does not earn credit will lead to you being at school longer, therefore spending more money. Remember when I said to you a second ago that this will save you money? Is kicking butt on this test will help you save money when you get to college. Next up, we're going to talk a little bit of trash about some of our competing high schools, because I know for some of you have other plans after high school. Maybe you're going to go into the military, you're going to go into the trades, or you're going to go into a junior college. So this might not necessarily matter to you, but I know beating some of our rival high schools definitely does matter. All right, guys, we're back at my computer, and what this graph is representing, it's representing the number of students from last year's test, so our current seniors here at the trail, that exceeded standard or met the standard. And this one is in English language arts. So there are 9 high schools in Elk Grove Unified, right? Here are the 9 high schools listed in order of the place, essentially, of how many kids exceeded or met the standard. So we scored 5th out of 9 schools because we had 67% of our juniors from last year that met or exceeded standards in English and language arts. I'm really impressed with 67%. That is 2 out of 3 kids that are entering college next year from our senior class that will not have to take non-credit bearing courses in college. So that's amazing. What I'm not horribly excited about is 5th. If you look at this chart, the thundering herd of Elk Grove were just a mere couple percentage points away, and that we would have been able to leap into 4th spot. And then just above that is Cosumnes Oaks. We could have potentially got them. I don't mind being in 5th place, but I sure would like being in 3rd place. So let's look at math. As you noticed, all the bars go down across the board. The math test is really hard, but we're going to talk about that here in a second. What I want you to notice about this list is we're no longer in 5th in math, we're in 7th. 7th out of 9 schools. That's not even getting us a participation ribbon. We want to be at least in 5th, if not a little better. Now look at these bars right here. They're not separated by very much. So the better that you all do on the math assessment, my guess is we're going to be able to leapfrog over some of our competing schools, Laguna Creek, Sheldon, and Elk Grove. Wouldn't it be great to score better than Elk Grove in both English language arts and in mathematics on this test? And I know you can. So this, we only had 31% of current seniors that passed the math test. I did say it's harder, it really is, but that's 1 in 3 kids. Next up, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're expecting on these tests as well as when the tests are. Okay, as we start these tests, in English language arts, last year we had 67% of students that met or exceeded. This year we want 70%, just a small increase of 3%. That would mean 7 out of 10 of us have met or exceeded standards on that test. And you know what's really awesome? Is I know there's 7 out of 10 of you that can do it, but all 10 of you are gonna try your hardest because we want to maximize our chance of meeting or exceeding standard. In math, last year, reminder, 31% of students met or exceeded. We want a pretty big jump. We want 40%. So that would mean 4 out of 10 are meeting or exceeding standards. So like I said earlier in this video, that tomorrow you'll start your test. Tomorrow is the Language Arts Part 1 test. And then Wednesday is gonna be Language Arts Part 2. I'm confident you guys are gonna knock it out of the park. Next week though, Tuesday is Math Part 1 and Wednesday's Math Part 2. Math Part 2 last year was so hard, it kicked everyone's rear end because they weren't expecting how challenging it was. But here's what I know you guys are gonna do. You're gonna look at how hard that test is and you're gonna get in a fight with it. You're gonna fight with that test until you win. So don't click through, don't give up, think about your thinking. What have you learned this year that could help you solve those problems during the performance task portion of Part 2 of the math test? I know you can do it. So 7 out of 10 in English language arts, 4 out of 10 in math, and we get cheaper college. I know we can do it. Go Mustangs.